So recently, season 2 and 3 of the Marvel What If series was announced, and that is really cool because I was a massive fan of that show. And I've always thought how cool it would be to have a Star Wars What If because I'm a massive Star Wars fan. But then I thought it would be really fun to make an NHL What If. So I present to you What If Eric Lindros stayed with the Quebec Nordiques. But just before I start the video, we just hit 400 subscribers, which is just amazing. Thank you guys so much. I did not expect to hit 400 so early into this channel's life. So thanks for that. I guess you could consider this as the 400 subscriber special. So thank you so much for 400 subscribers, and back to the video. So Eric Lindros was going to go first overall, and there is absolutely no doubt about it. However, the Quebec Nordiques were the team with the first overall pick, and Lindros was not having it because of the small market that they have. Lindros told the Nordiques to not draft him before the draft. So what did the Nordiques do? They drafted him anyway. Lindros was obviously not happy about this and straight up refused to play for them. He didn't even put on the jersey after he got drafted. And sure enough, Lindros was traded to the Philadelphia Flyers for Steve Duchesne, Peter Forsberg, Ron Hextall, Kerry Huffman, Mike Rickey, and Steve Simon. Two first-round picks and $15 million, which was an absolutely crazy trade. But what if this never happened? The date was June 22nd, 1991, and the Quebec Nordiques, to nobody's surprise, just drafted Eric Lindros first overall. However, this time, Lindros was cool with it. He would go on to have his rookie season 1992-1993, and the Nordiques forward lines would look something like this, with the first line of Martin Ruchinski, Matt Sundin, and Owen Nolan, and Lindros on the third line behind Joe Sakic. I think Eric Lindros would put up about 45 goals and 35 assists in about 60 games. In the 1992-1993 season, the Nordiques were pretty good, finishing with 104 points and fourth in the league. But with the incredible talent of Lindros, I think they would get a few extra points, finishing with about 106 or 108 points, which would land them third in the league. The Nordiques would end up playing the St. Louis Blues in the first round. This Blues team was pretty good in the 1993 playoffs, losing to the Leafs in the second round, who took the Kings to 7 games in the conference finals. So I think the Blues would still take this series in about 6 or 7 games. In the 1993-1994 season, the Nordiques would fall off big time, finishing 19th in the league and missing the playoffs. However, in the 1994-1995 season, the Nordiques would bounce back in a big way, finishing second in the league with 65 points. The Nordiques played the New York Rangers in the first round, and with Lindros, I think the Nordiques would take this series in 7 games with their insane center depth. In the second round, they would play the Philadelphia Flyers, and I think they would lose a series in 5 games. This is the season where the Nordiques turned into the Avalanche, but I think with the incredible young talent of Lindros, they would still be around today, and the Avalanche would still be known as the Quebec Nordiques. In the 1995-1996 season, the Nordiques would finish second in the league with 104 to 108 points. We all know how these playoffs went with the Colorado Avalanche, who would still be the Quebec Nordiques, winning the Stanley Cup. They would have lost Matt Sundin by this point, but Eric Lindros is becoming one of the best players in the league with well over a point per game, and the Quebec Nordiques would win their first ever Stanley Cup. In the 1996-1997 season, the Nordiques would finish first, just like in the normal timeline. I don't think Lindros would have much effect on this season because their roster would be pretty much the same, with the only big changes having Lindros instead of Forsberg. Also, the playoffs would also be pretty similar, with the Nordiques losing in the conference finals to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, Detroit Red Wings. So skip a few years to the end of his career, and I think he's still with the Nordiques until the last year or two of his career. Lindros would have been their franchise player, and I think they would have kept him and then traded him at the end of his career. I think he would be traded to a team like Dallas, Detroit, or Carolina for one more shot at a Stanley Cup. So I think if Lindros stayed with the Nordiques would still be around today. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why the Nordiques aren't around today and why they relocated is because of Lindros refusing to play for them. But what do you guys think would happen if Lindros stayed with the Nordiques? Do you think they'll still be around today, or do you think they still would have relocated to Colorado. But I think that the Nordiques would still be around today. But what do you guys think? Comment down below.